The San Diego Opera's new production of Samson and Delilah is all about scale.
It's a big sucker. Well, behind us we have the load-in of the set for Samson and Delilah. And a load-in is when everything comes off the truck and is then assembled on stage. It's one of the biggest sets we've actually put up in this theater, and it takes an awful lot of people to put it together, as you can see. The moment the curtain goes up, you know where it's set. You know that it's grand. You know that Cecil B. DeMille was involved.
It is indeed a Cecil B. DeMille production in every way, shape, and form. This set takes up the whole stage. What you don't see on stage is backstage being in storage, and it's huge. There is no space to move at all.
Works of this scale always scare us. So, with orchestras, choruses, we can make up crew, electricians, stagehands, just go through it. It's an astonishing number of people.
This one we have 3 different scenes. They are moving all the time. It takes a 25-minute intermission to do the scene change, even with 41 guys. It's choreographed.
3, 2, together.
Our stagehands have to rehearse because this wall's got to go here, and before that you have to move the other wall out, and then you can move that wall in, and then this can go out, and another piece has to come down from above. But our technical director really choreographs it.
Okay, now start heading towards stage left.
It takes the rehearsal of the backstage people just as much as the people on stage to get a production correct.
For director Leslie Koenig, getting the production correct means making sure the small details get as much attention as the big ones.
I really like telling the story, having the intimate moments on stage, even in a scene with 120 people. The story comes first. I really like a kind of clean visual aesthetic. So we've cut lots of stuff out of it and pared the set down to the essentials.
To make sure the right things are pared down and the essentials are left in, Koenig likes to walk around the theater during rehearsals.
I like to come down and really see people up close. It's one thing to sit back where we tech the show, which is always in every theater, row M. That's where you sort of get the best perspective on what the stage looks like. We can see the stage floor so the light's not spilling and whatnot. But I like to come up close and see what they look like up close, and then I know they're going to look good far away.
Samson and Delilah can be a good first opera for someone since the story is such a familiar one.
It's in the Bible. We all have some image of Samson. And having his hair trimmed, which makes him less potent so that he can be captured, blinded.
This is kind of a fun one because they decided to actually do the hair cutting on stage. A lot of times they go off stage and the wig person will be back there to cut it off. But we have a really great mezzo who is really good with the scissors, and she knows exactly where to cut it every single night, and she's been spot on. What we've done is this wig has to be used over and over again, so the back of it is rows of wefted hair that every day we take these out after they've been cut and put them back in. And then there's some little secret ones up here that are long that blend in. You can see, if I show it to you, you can see the cut line. That's where she cuts every night. And so we've blended it in with a few other long ones so you can't really tell where the cut line is. And so we cut it actually on stage in full view of the audience, which makes it a little bit more spectacular. Then right after they've cut his hair, the guards come out and they gouge his eyes out with a hot poker. And so we've come up with this. This is just a Halloween effect that we've kind of modified a little bit, and it's the gouged out eyes. There's a little piece of scrim in here that when the light hits it, you won't be able to see through to see his eyes in there because he still has to see the conductor. And then when this gets on his face, there's other blood effects that kind of come, so there's blood dripping down his face and stuff. And it's a real gory effect. It looks really good.
And that brings us back to the notion of scale. The opening of Act 3 contrasts a monumental set with the suffering of the blinded Samson.
That scene when he's alone and he hears the voices of his people in his mind is just so stunning. And then the next thing you see in a scene change is 120 people on stage and a huge Philistine bacchanal. So it's a really great story. It's easy to understand. It's exciting. And, it ends with the demise of a temple.
Oh, yeah, the collapse is the best. It just is the best. Just because it's grand in every way, shape, and form. Basically, what happens with that is there are statues on the side that will tilt in as he is pulling down the temple. The pillars are structured. If you were a kid, you had one of these little horses that was taut, and then if you pressed on the bottom and it loosened the strings, it kind of collapsed. That's actually the principle of the pillars. We release the tension on the pillars, and they kind of collapse, just like that little horse did, as a toy. So it looks like the whole thing is coming down. It's just great.
It's a biblical ending that brings the house down. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.